I'm from England. I'm called Toby.
My name is Charlie. I'm from Australia.
How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
I'm 21.
What does it feel like to be 18 and 21 years old?
It feels ecstatic. I feel rejuvenated day by day.
No, it feels great. Feels like I've got a lot of life left to live, so not too much to complain about.
Hopefully a good amount left.
Yeah.
What is something that you learned more in 2020 for maybe you didn't know before?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'd say for me, it might sound cliche, but I've really grown in my ability to talk to women. I can now turn on the Toby charm whenever I want. If you're a girl right now, you'd be in love. That's all right though, you don't mind. So yeah, 5 years ago, absolute stranger to it. Now I'd call myself a...
That's an interesting one too.
I've done the girl route, you can't do that.
Okay, what have I learnt since like a few years ago? When I was younger, I maybe didn't understand why things happened and like why maybe my parents or like people in power or something did the things that they did, and growing up has really allowed me to gain insight into like why certain people do certain things. I think when you're young, you're very naive. You think that everything has to be about you and everything that doesn't happen for you is against you. But a lot of the time, even when people might not be working in your favor, they are actually working for you, just not in the way that your naive brain wants to think. So I think, I don't know, I think I've just learnt to be patient and to be graceful towards people, not to be quick to anger and not stress too much about stuff that you can't control.
And what is the truth about life you wish more people understood?
I think we, as humans, we just fight too much among ourselves over very petty differences. It sounds very cliche, but I do generally think that so much of the time, things that we argue about, I'm not even talking about big wars, I'm talking about small scale fights that we have on a daily basis with our friends, with our family, with our next door neighbour. I'd say 90% of those arguments, those fights can be solved pretty quick, pretty easily by talking things over. So yeah, just wish the world would talk more, right?
I think people need to understand that if there's things that we disagree on, we shouldn't act towards one another in anger. Like if you and I have a disagreement, getting angry at one another and trying to kind of, battle, no, I'm right, no, I'm right, no, I'm right. It's just a complete wrong way with approaching life. I think what's really important is to love everyone and want to love people even when they aren't the same as you and don't agree with what you're saying or don't agree with what you believe in or whatever it is. I think we need to love everyone and respect everyone regardless of our differences.
Yeah.
And what was something that you thought was really important when you were young, but as you've gone older, you realize it's not that important?
That's a very good one.
I think something that I don't put as much importance on that I did when I was little. I think when I was little, I used to think money was the most important thing and something that I had to have when I got older. I still obviously want to be successful, and I still think that it's important for my future family, for me to be able to earn money and support my family, but at the same time, it's not something that is a must. I don't need to be rich. I don't need to have a super nice car and a massive house. Those things are worldly things, and they're things that can corrupt me or anyone if we get too obsessed with them. So yeah, I think money's a great thing and it can do a lot of good for this world, but at the same time, it can result in a lot of greed. So I'd say I'd love to have money, but I don't need to be rich.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too deep here, but I think when I was younger, when I was kind of in my early teenage years, I really felt the need to be loved and accepted by everyone around me. I'd feel very isolated if someone kind of rejected what I thought or rejected what I said. But I've realised as I grew up that I think the things that are really important isn't what everyone thinks about you. It's about what people you care about and people that you actually appreciate, what they think about you. Because there's never going to be a point where everyone in the world completely agrees with everyone, right? There's always going to be people you disagree with, people you don't get along with. And what they think about me, I don't really care at this point. I just care about what the people I love and the people that I respect and the people that I appreciate, what they agree about me. Because it's impossible for everyone to love you, but if you just if you focus on a select few, and if you focus on the people that you love, then there's a much higher chance of them showing the appreciation back.
And if you could give one piece of advice for young people, what would it be?
I'd rather have a few good friends than lots of acquaintances. Sorry, I stole that.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's probably the best one. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, I mean, it kind of ties into what Toby said, but just the whole like notion of when you're younger, I think you think that what's going on right now is everything, and it's like, you know, if your girlfriend breaks up with you when you're 15, you think the whole world ends, and all these things, like if my friend moves schools, therefore I don't get to be friends with anymore. Like, it's very quick to accept things as your whole life, like as, I don't know. So I think, I don't really know how to put it into words, but just try not to stress too much about life, because life is always going to continue, and the stuff that you think, I don't even know how to say it, like if a friend moves, like you can still be friends with them. Like, it just, you might not see them for a few years and then you're back friends with them. Like, so much can change between 16 and 25, exponential growth that you just can't see when you're 16. So just try not to get too caught up in the small things. Like, when you're 16, what happens when you're 16 isn't your whole life. Like, there's so much more. So just, I don't know.
Take
like,
it so seriously.
yeah, just like,
there we
it's
go.
all
There it
good.
is. There it is.
Like, you know, you're gonna find more friends. You're gonna see more girls. Like, you know, like this, you know, you're gonna get a new job. There's always gonna be more. So try not to get too bogged down if stuff's not going your way.
That's a good phrase. Bogged down. Just don't get too bogged down.